Councillor Alison Moore to move the opposition to this item, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I rise to speak this evening in the gravest and utmost seriousness to the motion I have tabled. It is not frivolous, it is not capricious, it is not malicious, and it is not a personal attack. It is tabled in frustration and born out of concern for the integrity of the council we are all elected to, the communities we represent and serve, and for the democratic mandate they have vested in each of us. I ask that because of the gravity of this subject, those in the public gallery, no matter how passionately they feel about the One Barnet project, listen to the debate and allow those speaking to be properly heard. Unless a decision is taken this evening to pause, as will be proposed by my colleague Councillor Cook, or change course, either in the vote at the end of this item or in response to my amendment to 3.7 in the next part of the meeting. This will be the last time we, the full Council of Barnet, will have the opportunity to debate the proposed outsourcing of £1 billion worth of Barnet Council services before the decisions and let the contracts are taken by the Cabinet. Mr. Mayor, the Labour Group has put up motion after motion asking for better scrutiny and to challenge of One Barnet projects, and actually at one point any scrutiny of the project. We have put up motions for the projects to be delayed so that members have had an opportunity to consider the implications of these huge outsourcings, the outsourcing contracts to be considered. We have put up motions for the One Barnet projects to be paused or halted while more analysis was undertaken of the risk. And Councillor Cornelius, ideas and proposals have been put forward, and we have a very real grasp of budget control and management. And we have put forward a motion for a public referendum on One Barnet so local residents can have their say on what is a fundamental change to local service delivery in the borough. On each occasion, Conservative councillors have voted down these motions, despite a growing number of councillors having genuine concerns that the case has not been made, and that, particularly where the issue of the joint venture option was concerned, that there were very real concerns about the risks involved. Members, Mr. Mayor, we are now at the 11th hour. The decision to award the first contract for customer care and back office services will be taken by Cabinet on the 6th of December. And contrary to what Councillor Stronglow's motion for later in the evening implies, we know too little of the process to know whether it has gone well or not. The projects to privatise planning, licensing, environmental health, trading standards and other regulatory services, which have been the cause of so much controversy and a public difference at the budget performance meeting between the leader and the deputy leader, is scheduled to be let in January. And yet most of the councillors in this chamber, right across the political divide, know little of the projects and are becoming increasingly concerned, along with residents across the borough, well beyond the core of campaigners and activists who have followed the One Barnet projects over the past few years. Even Brian Coleman, no shrinking violet when it comes to the privatisation of council services. He drove through the outsourcing of the parking management service this year. Even Brian has come clean in public about his opposition to the current proposals to outsource huge swathes of council services to private contractors. He is now clear that we should scrap One Barnet. Other local councils of different political hues have recently pulled back from the brink and stopped major outsourcing projects, Cornwall and Edinburgh to name two. Somerset Council is being sued by its massive joint venture following a flawed procurement process, and procurement is something that we know Barnet has not been good at. The chief executive of the largest council in the country, Birmingham, has recently written that traditional large-scale outsourcing simply do not cut the mustard for local government anymore. He cites councils like Edinburgh who have stopped their plans to outsource on this mass scale at the 11th hour and at the end of a very long procurement process. Mr. Mayor, members, we are in Barnet at the 11th hour, so I call on all members in this chamber to think hard about how they will vote this evening. Because if there are any members of this council from other political groups who have the slightest rumblings of concern, now is their last opportunity to do something about it. If you don't believe it, if you don't believe in it, do not vote for it. I move the motion in my name.
Councillor Bernard Thomas to speak on this and to move his amendment, please.